Okay, so welcome everyone to this webinar on the third Impact EdTech Open Call. I'm Lucie, I work in FundingBox, one of the partners of this project. So I'm going to be presenting what we're expecting in this open call and how you can apply. And there will be a time at the end for questions, so please use the chat if you want to ask any questions at the end. Just to present the project, it's a European funded project by the European Commission, and we are 3 partners in it. The coordinator is European SchoolNet. They're a network of education ministries across Europe. And then we have ISDI, the other partner based in Spain as well, and they're specialists in acceleration methodology for startups. And then there's FundingBox, we're specialized in open call management and funding distributions for startups. So the objective of the Impact EdTech project is to establish a startup incubator accelerator that will help 43 European startups to bring their digital learning solution to the market. We've already launched 2 open calls, and in this third one, which is the last one, we will support 17 SMEs and startups in total. So the idea is that you come with a promising prototype, and then if you're selected, you get financial support and also mentoring and other services during the incubation and acceleration program. And at the end of the program, you should have a viable product to enter the market. The program is 9 months. The first 4 months are the incubation program to refine your minimum viable product. And the next 5 months are acceleration, so it's more go-to-market and commercialization activities. The maximum amount of funding you can get is 197,000 euros. Yeah. So this is the calendar. So as you know, the open call is open since April 6th and will be open until the end of June this year. Then we will have a selection process that lasts approximately 3 months. We'll go more into detail about the selection process later in this webinar. Then for the 17 selected ones, there's this... Can you all mute your microphone? Thank you. So for the 17 selected ones, there will be a 4-month incubation program, as I was mentioning. This is referred to as stage 1. And then we will have another cutoff, and 8 startups will be selected to move to stage 2. That will last for 5 months, so for February till June of next year. So as you may have seen, if you checked already the documentation or maybe even the application form, we have 2 strands in this call, strand A and strand B. Strand A is for solutions that are targeting schools, so any level from the beginning of primary schools to the end of secondary school level. And strand B is for any solution that doesn't go into strand A, so informal education, formal education. Can you please mute your microphone? Yeah, thank you. Yes, strand B is for any solution for informal education, non-formal education, so outside of school, and also for higher education. Then we have 3 challenges. So whatever strand you choose, your solution will have to be tackling one of these 3 challenges. The first one is inclusive education, so targeting socially disadvantaged groups, minorities, special needs students, for example. The second one is personalized learning. So as you see here, based, for example, on AI, learning analytics, solutions that can adapt the learning experience to the skills and the necessities, the needs of the learner. And the last one is skills development of learners or teachers. So just to go into more detail into the program, so as I was saying, there is the stage 1, which is the incubation phase. It lasts for 4 months. And as I was saying, it's to refine your minimum viable project. So you have funding there, 87,388 to be exact. 10,000 of which is used to pay for the mentors that you will have, and the rest is for you to work on the solution that you applied for. There will be a 4-day online intensive business bootcamp at the very beginning with different sessions given by specialists. Mentoring, so you will be assigned a business mentor and an educational mentor to accompany you throughout the whole process of stage 1 and help you achieve your objective. And at the end, there will be an MVP live test. So mentors will have to use your solution, test your solution, and rate it. And if you're selected to stage 2, there will be same kind of the same process, a welcome bootcamp, which will be 5-day long. Same thing with different sessions given by specialists. You will have go-to-market activities training. You will have piloting pathways. So that's the difference with stage 1, is that in stage 2, you're actually testing and piloting your solution in real educational settings. So for example, if you're in strand A, then you will have access to school facilities and teachers, etc. You will be given visibility to education ministries, investors, and potential partners. You will have mentoring as in the first stage, and then equity free as well, funding, which in this stage is 110,000 euros, 20,000 or up to 20,000 of which will be used to pay for the mentor and other resources you will have access to, and the rest being used by your company to work on what you aim to achieve in this stage. So concerning the payments, it's important to know that if you're selected at the beginning of each stage, you will have to work on an individual mentoring plan. On this individual mentoring plan, which you will work on with your mentors, you will define which KPIs and which deliverables you want to have achieved at the end of the stage. So once you sign the subgrant agreement and we agree on this individual mentoring plan, you receive 40% of the funding. And then at the end of stage 1, we will review if those KPIs and those deliverables have been achieved. And if that is the case, you will receive the remaining 60%. For stage 2, it's the same process, except it's 50% upfront and 50% at the end. So who can apply? You need to have an SME. So you can see here the table, what is an SME? You have to have less than 250 employees and less than 50 million turnover. So you have to have an SME which is legally established in any of eligible countries. The eligible countries, if you have checked maybe already in the guide for applicants, they are all the European member countries, all the H2020 associated countries, and the UK. Yes, more information of that is in the guide for applicants, so please check it. If you don't have already an SME legally established right now or before the 30th of June, you can apply as a team of at least 2 individuals. But you have to know that if you're selected, if you pass all the selection process steps, you will have to set up the SME before the incubation program starts. More on who can apply, the team composition should have at least 2 people with proven business, technical, and pedagogical capabilities, and at least one of those members should work full-time on the solution as proposed. In terms of technology readiness level, we are looking for solutions that are at least in TRL 5 and up to TRL 7. So TRL 5, it means that your prototype or your technology, sorry, has been validated in a relevant environment, and TRL 7 means that your prototype has been demonstrated in an operational environment. There's more info about that in the guide for applicants as well. If your solution is already tested, commercialized in real environments, is proven that it works, that program wouldn't be for you, because we're actually looking for solutions that need our help, still to be refined, so are still in an early stage. And in terms of intellectual property rights, you must be free to exploit and commercialize the solution you propose without restrictions or hindrance. So here's non-exhaustive list of the technologies. So that's just examples of what your EdTech solution could be, the technology that it could be based on. So AI, assistive educational technology for special needs, hardware-based device also for special needs, blockchain technology-based solutions, gamification, solutions aiming at tackling privacy and data protection, or virtual or augmented reality. So that's just examples that can be inspiring, but yes, it can be also another technology. Concerning the application, so if you go on our website, impactedtech.eu, you will see a button that says apply now. And when you do, you will be redirected to that other website, impactedtech.fundingbox.com, in which you will find the application form. So as you will see, there's all the sections. The three main ones are the excellence, the impact, and the implementation. So in the excellence part, you will have to describe your solution. What's the pedagogical background behind it? Why is it needed by learners or by teachers or by schools? How does it differentiate from other solutions that are already exist in the market? Yes, why is it excellent? And how does your technology work as well? And then in the impact, we're looking here to know what impact you aim to have on the market. So what's your market size? Who are you targeting? What's your commercialization strategy? What's your business plan? What's your business model as well? How do you plan to make money with this solution, etc.? And then in implementation, we're looking here at your team. So who are you? What are your skills? Why is your team, your members are the best suited to implement that solution that you're proposing? All the sections are defined in the guide for applicants, so you can have a closer look there as well. So now the evaluation process. So you have until the 30th of June to submit your proposal. Once you submit it, you can always come back to it and change it until the deadline, which is the 30th of June. At 1 p.m. CET. Then we will have the eligibility check. So it refers to what I was saying before, who can apply, whether you're located in an eligible country, whether the TRL of your solution is eligible. So please check the guide for applicants for that, because I gave you the main ones before, but there are other eligibility criteria, and you have to make sure that you apply to all of them, so that all of them apply to your situation. If not, your application will not even be evaluated. So that's very important that you check all the eligibility criteria and make sure you are eligible to apply. Then if we receive more than 250 eligible proposals, we have an additional step here of pre-scoring, which is an automatic points that are given according to different questions. I will explain this more into details later. That will only happen if there's more than 250 eligible proposals received. If not, then we will move directly to the experts evaluation. So the experts are two independent experts that are hired by the project. The project partners do not interfere in that evaluation. So they're chosen according to their expertise in EdTech, education, business. Yes, basically those three expertise. That's how we choose our experts, and they will assess your proposal and give a score. I will explain later how they will do that. Then we will have on the higher score proposal, we will have a consensus meeting. So the consensus meeting is a meeting in which the selection committee will take part. So the selection committee is the three partners that I mentioned in the beginning, plus 3 independent experts. In this meeting, we will review the higher score proposals, and we will select 28 proposals that will move to jury day. So on jury day, there will be 28 of you, and you will have to pitch your solution to the selection committee. So again, the 3 partners and some experts. And out of those 28 that would have made it to the jury day, we will select 17 to move to be selected for the incubation program. So then you will be signing your FSTP agreement signature, and then you will move to the stage 1. And then from stage 1 to stage 2, there will be a filtering process. So the filtering process will be based on the KPIs and deliverables that I mentioned before. So have you achieved them? And they will be rated as well by mentors. And also on the MVP testing that I also mentioned. So all this will give you a score, and the higher scoring ones will move to stage 2. So just to go back, as you see, I was mentioning the pre-scoring. So just to know how the pre-scoring will be done. Again, it will only be done if we receive more than 250 proposals to be evaluated. So that will be scored automatically, and we will give us the ones that will then be evaluated by the external evaluators. So those questions here, we're looking to know the average number of years of experience of the team members in business, tech, and education. And we're looking to know as well the percentage of women in the team. That's for the team part. And then for the business part, we're looking to know the percentage of equity that is owned by the funders. And we want to know if you intend to implement your solution in other European countries in the next 4 to 5 months. So that's those 4 questions that will be included in the pre-scoring. Then moving to the external evaluation, 3 criteria will be taken into account: the excellence, the impact, and the implementation, which are the ones I mentioned that you will have to fill in your application form. So the evaluators will be scoring out of 5 each of those sections, and they will be giving comments as well. So all of you will receive your score and as comments as well from these evaluators. For each section, the minimum threshold is 3 out of 5 points, and the total maximum score obviously is 15 points with a minimum total threshold of 10 points. All proposals that have a score above the threshold will move to the consensus meeting. Then in the consensus meeting, as I was saying, we will review in top-down order all the proposals until we can select 28 of them that can move to jury day. And in jury day, 17 of them will move to stage 1. So that's all for now. I give you here some important links. So IMPACT-EdTech.eu is the project website. It describes this open call and everything we've been doing in the project. You have the application link here on IMPACT-EdTech.fundingbox.com. If you want to go on the community, which is where we have the help desk, where you can ask questions and we will answer them, this link. And you can also always contact us at contact@impactedtech.eu. So any question that you ask on the help desk will be visible for everyone, and any question that you ask by email will be visible only by us. Yes, so thank you very much. I will also show you the application website. So this is the application website. If you click on the Apply Now button, you will be redirected to the application form. But most importantly, what I wanted to show is the documents tab here. So if you click on it, you're redirected here, and you have here the guide for applicants and the frequently asked question. It's crucial that you read those documents, both documents, very carefully before you apply, so that you understand what we're looking for, what are the eligibility criteria, so you make sure that you know whether this program is made for your solution or not, and also that you make sure that your application is qualitative so that you can get selected.
Sorry, but I think you're sharing the wrong screen because we still see the presentation.
Ah, thank you. Okay, let me Try again. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's impactedtech.fundingbox.com, and then I went into the Documents tab, and then I have the link here to the guide for applicants and to the frequently asked questions. I forgot to mention that Emily from our partner ISDI is also in this call, and Adina for the coordinator EUN is also in this call. So any questions I will try to answer, and if it's more concerning the program in itself, the piloting pathways, etc., they will be able to answer you as well. So if you have any questions, please use the chat. We still have about 40 minutes to answer any question you may have. Okay, so I see there are already plenty there. Will you send out the presentation after the session? Yes, we'll send out the presentation. Please do not take the PowerPoint as an official document. It's just a presentation. All official documents, as I mentioned, are the guide for applicants and the frequently asked questions. Also, this is a good time to mention that we will also send questionnaire about what you thought of this session. So we will send all this together. Manuel is asking, can you please provide some details regarding what will happen during jury day? Here, maybe I will ask Emily to maybe explain a bit more. They're the one organizing the jury day, so ISDI.
Hi, Lucie. Hi, everybody. So the question is some details regarding what happens during the jury day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So the jury day has two parts. First of all, it consists of a pitching workshop. So 1 week before the jury day, all the participants will be invited to participate in a workshop to refine their pitch. Then after that, we'll have the jury day. During this, each participant will have a small number of minutes, 5 or something, I can't remember, something like that, to pitch in front of a jury. It will be closed, so nobody else will be in the virtual room. It will take place online, of course. Each participant will pitch one time. After that, the jury will deliberate. They'll be evaluating the pitches based on a set criteria. Based upon this, the jury will evaluate the answers, the evaluations to each pitch, and a ranking will be formed, and the top startups will be invited to enter the program based upon the outcome of the jury day. Does that answer your question? Well,
Thank you so much, Emily.
Sure, thank you.
Then the next question is from Daria. She asks, we have a platform that serves STEM education and special needs education, but the content is different for the two strands. The same platform falls under the two types. Should we apply twice? No, you don't need to apply twice. You can choose the one that you think applies best, and then if you're moving then to stage 2, we will see with ISDI and with EUN, our partners, which piloting pathways is better for you. So we'll see if you stay at strand A or if you move to strand B, for example, or the other way around. But no, you should only apply once. Amanda is asking, does the funding fall under the European de minimis regulation? I think we had that question in the first open call, and the answer was no. However, I will write it down and ask our legal team, and we will include that in the FAQ. So we'll update the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, sorry, and we'll update this with this answer, but I think the answer is no. Is there a date for the jury day? So there's not an exact date yet, but it will be in September of this year. Are only tech, so sorry, from Anthony's, are only tech solutions eligible or considered also service-based startups? So this is for EdTech innovations. So your solution should have a tech component. Yes. I hope that answers your question. And then we have another question from Laurent. Would the solution already used in universities, but in early stage of it is go to market for TRL7 category. I think not. If your solution has already been tested in real environment, no, because then the incubation program in which we're trying to refine the MVP, see how it can fit the needs of the users, etc., would not be very useful for you. In any case, if you go into the guide for applicants, you will see more precise definition of the technology readiness levels. And then we have a question from Yashodan. Does IMPACT EdTech look at funding organizations outside the EU? No. Well, it depends. So let's go to the guide for applicants. Sorry. So I'm just going to show you the eligibility criteria concerning the countries. Sorry, that's so, okay, so eligibility criteria, eligible countries. Okay, so we have here member states of the European Union and its overseas countries and territories, associated countries to A2020 and United Kingdom. So if your country is an associated country, then you are indeed eligible. So you have to check, please, here in the guide for applicants, whether you fall into those three categories or not. How many companies applied on the previous call? We had more than 300 on the first one and more than 200 on the second one. How the incubation program will happen? Will it be fully remote? So normally what we were planning to do is to have the bootcamp face-to-face, and then the MVP testing face-to-face in Brussels as well. But the rest of the program is fully remote indeed. It's you have online sessions with your mentors. Now with the restrictions, it is probable that the bootcamp will be online as well. Yes. And then we have a question from Chloe. Hello, are all applicants expected to go to stage 1? What if we already have a prototype? Yes, you must go to stage 1. You cannot jump to stage 2. That's why I was talking about the importance of the technology readiness level. And if your prototype is already tested in real environments or is already quite advanced, then that wouldn't be a program for you. Then we have a question from Lamis. Should the 2 members applying be co-founders of the SME, or at least one is the founder? No, you don't have to be co-founders to be applying. Are there any restrictions on UK-based applicants? No, UK is eligible as any other member country. Then we have a question from Matas. Could you elaborate on the equity-free part? Are there no strings attached after program ends? What are possibilities for extra rounds of investment after the program ends? Equity-free means that indeed there are no strings attached. The funding is given to you and none of the partners or the European Commission are taking any equity in your company. So you remain full owners after you receive that funding. Extra round of investments, yeah, it's the idea that thanks to this program, you can also attract private investors. So that's what we're helping you to do in stage 2 as well. From Lamis, is a software as a service applied to adult remote education eligible to the program? I would say yes. Again, please look at the challenges that I've presented. If it fits, then yes. Then we have a question from Lutz. how are the project protected against misuse? I'm not sure I understand. There is ethical committee that will review the project, and I think maybe Adina can tell us more about this ethical committee.
Hi, thank you very much for your question. So regarding the protection against misuse, we have several items that are covered in the program. One of them is that, and I think it's important for all startups to know, is that you will remain the owners of the IPR of the solution. So this is also concerning the previous question about the equity-free part. So at the end of the program, nobody supporting you in developing your product will take any IPR. Then, of course, any other experts that are supporting you in developing your minimum viable product, so the mentors, pilot teachers, in their contracts, there will be confidentiality clauses that prevents them to further share confidential information about your solution. And as Lucie has mentioned, we have also an ethics committee that can deal with any additional ethical issues coming up. So I think that kind of summarizes the different mechanisms that we have in place to make sure that the project participating in the program are protected against misuse.
Thank you so much, Adina. Okay, then we have Eugene. Hi, we have applied on the second program. Can we apply it on the third program now? Yeah, it's a good question. So if you're a beneficiary of the first or the second open call, you are not eligible to apply again. However, if you applied and you were not selected, yes, you're definitely encouraged to try again. And then we have Tanya. You mentioned about cooperation with education ministries. Will it be applicable for all EU countries or only for specific region? I think I will call Adina here again.
So what's important with regards to the cooperation with ministries of education is that all the startups in the program will be supported in an equitable way. So all startups selected will gain the same kind of visibility to the ministries of education from the countries where they are based. So as Lucie has mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this is done through European Schoolnets Network, which is a network of ministries of education across 32 countries from around the EU and beyond. I hope this answers your question.
Thank you. We have a question from Matas. If I have a working technical prototype that is already deployed and is in the very early phase of commercialization, but still lacks a lot of educational content and various educational friendly features, would that be considered as developed too far? Again, if it's already been proven in real environments, yes, but you can check the guide for applicants, which we have the definitions of all technology readiness levels, see if it fits or not. Question from Tanya. The solution can be for a specific country or should be scalable. It should be scalable for different countries. As in the pilot phase, you will be able, or you will have to pilot your solution in 3 different countries. And yes, maybe Adina or Emily can expand more on the pilot phase here.
Yes, so I can jump in to talk a little bit about strand A piloting, so that's school piloting. So ideally, as Lucie mentioned, we are looking for solutions that are scalable. And that's mostly because through the program, we have the mechanism to support them better. So in the piloting phase, for instance, we are giving all solutions passing on to this stage. So the acceleration stage of the Impact EdTech program, the opportunity to pilot their solution in a real educational context in 3 different countries across different EU and Horizon 2020 associated countries. So of course, if your solution is scalable and if you are looking for internationalization, you will benefit better from these services. Yeah.
Yes, as far as Strand B startups go, the piloting process is a little bit different. Of course, Strand B startups won't be piloting directly in schools. They'll be doing some other go-to-market activities, but I completely agree with what Adina said, that this program, it makes most sense if you're looking to scale up internationally.
Okay, thank you both. Then we have Eugene, another question from Eugene. We're working on a tool for university publishers to help them make interactive learning programs for lifelong learners. Looks like this topic fits your challenges, am I right? I guess that would be the skills development challenge. Yes, unless Adina or Emily want to comment there.
No, I think it's a great fit.
Thank you. Amanda, do you need someone with a degree in pedagogy in the team, or is practical experience sufficient? No, practical experience is sufficient. We want someone that has skills, experience in education, in pedagogical settings, but it doesn't have to be a teacher, or it doesn't have someone that has a specific degree in pedagogy. Laurent is asking, what about the acceleration phase? Would it be relevant for tools already tested but not commercialized? Yes, but you cannot jump to the acceleration phase. Our solutions must go first to stage 1 and then to stage 2. Then Chloe is asking, in the description, it was written that the call has a focus on supporting new research-based pedagogical approaches. Can you elaborate on this? What is the criteria for research-based solutions? And I would like to ask Adina here, if possible.
I think that's a great question. So I think what we're looking to attract with this call is solutions that are really providing educational technologies that are based in pedagogical research, that you have a very good understanding of the effects of your solution on students, on learners, that you are able to demonstrate that in your application form. I think this is an important criterion that the evaluators will be looking for. So that's what we mean by research-based, that we need to make sure that whatever we are selecting is responding to a real need of the educational sector, be it the school educational sector or the out-of-school university level.
Thank you. Tanya is asking, how intense is the program? How many hours will it take per day or week? So at the beginning, you will have this 1 week bootcamp. Then you have the mentoring hours. I think Emily maybe have in memory the number of educational and business mentoring, because I don't remember the exact number right now.
Sure, you'll meet with each mentor approximately once every 2 weeks, and it's conceived that the meetings you have with your educational mentor will last for 2 hours, and the meeting that you have with your business mentor will last for 1 hour. And in addition, you have access to specialized mentors, again, approximately 1 session every 2 weeks during the course of the program. But it's much more than that. Like, there's a lot of work that happens outside of the mentoring sessions. I would say that, to answer your first question, it's quite intense. How many hours will it take per day or week? That's a little bit harder to quantify because it depends so much. But I do want to emphasize here that the work that is put into the program is work that helps your startup meet goals or continue along a road that you're already on. So the idea is that even if it's a lot of work and intense work, it's not extra work. It's work that helps boost your startup, like helps give it an intense push within the framework of the program. Thank you.
Do you offer advice during application phase? So the advice that we offer are those webinars. We also answer questions on the community help desk and through the contact email, but we don't offer advice as to what you should write on your application. So if that's what you're asking, no, but if you have any question, how should I apply? Basically all the questions that you're asking now, yes, we are answering them. We have then a question from Tan. We're developing virtual reality game prototype with pedagogical expert. Will be ready in December. Is it eligible for applying this program? So in your application, you should be able to show a link to a prototype so that so the evaluators can see what you're proposing. So if you have already something to show, yes. If you only have just a description now, no. Then Manuela is asking what's an educational mentor. So you will have business mentor helping you with the business part of your objectives, and then the educational mentor is helping you with the educational part. So yes, how to make sure this is adapted for learners or for teachers, depending on who you're targeting. But maybe Adina can expand on this.
Yeah, so basically, as Lucie already explained during the whole program of IMPACT EdTech, be it incubation or acceleration, you will have access to two types of follow-up mentors: the educational mentors, who will advise you more on aspects related to the development of content related to your solution, and the business mentor who will be advising you more on the business side. So an educational mentor is an educational specialist, which is matched to your startup according to your needs and your main focus, and will be able to support you in better developing the content aspects related to your solution.
Thank you very much. Yes, sorry. Yes, sorry, I was looking at the answer for the next question. Is there any rule guidelines on what finance should be spent? So you will, if you're selected, you will be asked to work on a budget. So how you plan to spend those rules. And then in the guide for applicants, so I'm going to try to share again. Okay. If you go into section 5.2, you will have the definition. Yeah, exactly here. You will have the definition of what's a lump sum and how it should be spent. So the whole explanation is there, so you can go to it to have more information about it. And okay. Then we have a question from Iko. The prototype, does it have to be a fully working prototype? Does it have to cover all the features that the system will have, or can it be non-working or partially working? No, so you should have a prototype, but as I said, it will be refined during stage 1. That's what you will be working on during stage 1. However, you should be able to show something already at application stage.
And the key, sorry, Lucie, if I can jump in, the key there is that keep in mind that it should be ready to go to market by stage 2. So even if it's not working, it needs to be, you know, working within the 4 months of stage 1.
Yeah, thank you. Then we have a question from Joe. Trying to understand the TRL level 5 better. Is it try to understand as it having a working prototype ready and maybe tested with some users, but not in real life setting? Yes, exactly. That's exactly it too. Then we have Eugene. We don't have a platform. However, we have 2 pre-agreements to test our platform in university. We do have a plan to make clickable prototype to test it inside university. Is this with TR7? I have to read it again, sorry. So not even an MVP. So you should have an MVP to apply. Yes. And if we will have an opportunity to test those, can this? It's a very detailed question. Okay, so I'm trying to summarize here. You must have a prototype to apply, because you have to be able to show it to the evaluators. Going back to what Joe said, as it was well described, you must have a prototype ready, but not proven in a real life setting. So that's what we're asking here. And I see no more questions. Eugene, I hope I answered your question well. Laurent, will there be an acceleration stage only? Not in the IMPACT EdTech project, unfortunately, no. This is the last open call we're launching, and it has those two stages, so incubation and acceleration. Manuel is asking, can funding be used for hiring resources that will work on the software development? Yes, definitely. So as I mentioned before, you have the individual mentoring plan in which you will decide with your mentor and validated by the partners what you should be achieving at the end of each stage. And if you need to hire someone to work on those objectives, then yes, it's definitely eligible. Laurent, yes, sorry. For sure, there may be other opportunities for acceleration phases, but not in this project. And then Matas is asking, if it is deployed but does not have users, would that mean it's not yet in real life settings? Yes, indeed. There are still 13 minutes if anyone has more questions. If not, we will end here. Oh, there's one from Metin. How many team members should work on the project full-time? One member should be working full-time and your team should have at least 2 members. And then Daria, if deployed and under 100 users are invested to test, aka real life. So what we mean by operational environment, it's okay if it's been tested, but you should not have commercialized it and proven it in real life environment. So if it's just been tested under 100 users, then that would still be okay. No sales email, yes. Question from Eco, is the member that's working full-time on the company now the one that has to be the main person in the program? Or can that change later? Well, it would make sense that that person would be involved in the program, but if it makes sense for you that you need to change the human resources for some reason, that's possible. We have Eugene. We need to build prototype before applying in June, but we can't test it with users. No, you can test it with users. What we don't want is a solution that's already been proven in real life settings, so already commercialized, because then that wouldn't fit the incubation program in which we're trying to refine the minimum viable product or the prototype. Anna, we have used an existing software solution for a co-creative community of education enthusiasts. We are now looking into building our own solution with different features than the existing one. Would we be eligible to apply? So that's kind of for you to assess according to the TRL level, and will be of course assessed then as well by the evaluators. Depends how different are the features. I mean, if the solution's already been commercialized and you're just adding very small features, then I guess that wouldn't be a great fit. But if you're building a completely different solution, then yes. So before we end, maybe we'll ask Thank you, Peter. Maybe I will ask Edina and Emily if maybe they want to complement something that I've tackled in the questions, and if not, we can end. Thank you, Laurent, for your comment. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Lucie, sorry.
No, yeah, I was just going to say if you want to complement something, go ahead.
No, I have nothing to add, just to thank everybody for attending. Thank you for your questions. They're really insightful. And we really appreciate your attention and your interest in this call. And we're very much looking forward to receiving your applications. So thank you very much.
Same from me. Thank you for participating. We hope we answered competently your questions. If you still have questions left, of course, please feel free to use the community help desk as described by Lucie, or for any questions which may be more specific to your solution, please do reach out at contact@impactedtech.eu. We look forward to receiving your applications. And yes, maybe one advice that I would have for all of you present in the meeting is to read the guide for applicants carefully before submitting your application, and take the time to prepare your application. The evaluators are looking very carefully in all the sections that you will be filling in. So please put the necessary effort into that. And yeah, we look forward to the evaluation stages.